Okay, I'm actually gonna make this my first episode of TAF with Space Camp. So this is where we left off last time with this huge colony, and I don't know if this is territory of the SMR or of ACBC allies. I mean it's inside of SMR, so I guess it's an SMR territory, but I don't know because I haven't made an episode of this in months. So start off. So this is the Treaty of Egnania. I wanna delete this. What race? That. So now we have this, and now this starts the Second Cleavish Empire. The Niaf will now become the Niat. Neat. Neat. It's literally called neat. So what? What? They bombed? Did they bomb Uzbekistan or something? That's weird. Anyways, so now the Second Cleavish Empire is now a thing, and now the ACBC allies. By the way, this is totally this is sarcastic. I don't think the U.S. would want to take over Russia or something like that. Maybe they would, but yeah. Let's take over Western Europe. Actually, I forgot. And then U.S. and ACBC allies. PMA. Sure. TS, our capital city, is Cheyenne, Wyoming. So now, Cheyenne, Wyoming, and where is Cheyenne, Wyoming? Also, what? Okay, this is a Google map. I mean, I guess it's here. So now CLAEVA is sending militias, is sending a bunch of people, is sending where's the plane? Where was the plane tool that I used to use a lot? Where's that tool? There used to be like a plane tool menu. I don't see even a plane tool anywhere. Draw a straight line. I want to know what this even is called. This is overlay. Is it literally called an overlay? Image overlay. Image URL? No. Okay, I can't even see any plain tool. Might have to edit this out into it yourself. I don't know. I'm just going to do the scribbling method. So this send a plane to the UK, but then they noticed a huge flaw. The flaw is that the UK is a member of NATO, so that means technically the US is now against CLAEVA, even though it's already against Britain in this case. So then they think that they are American, and they're actually American troops, and then the UK, United Kingdom of Great Britain, and Northern Ireland. US troops? Why are you here? And then after that, they then send a bunch of people. Let me see this. What did they do at point? I forgot because I haven't done this in like years. I mean months, of course. I'll give him with an idea. We should just use straight light. So now they've been sent Canadian troops and send troops over to Romania. Is that Romania? Yes. And then a couple of death happens. territory, Romania. Wait. Cleavish Empire. Yeah, guys. The Cleavish Empire now. The Cleavish Empire owns. This, I mean. Till now. And then some Canadian troops accidentally split over into more of former USSR territory, which and even pretty much all of Yugoslavia gets invaded after this. Even though I know Bulgaria and all these other countries were not part of Yugoslavia when it existed. Then part of Turkey was taken over. And okay, this was a really bad time for the people in Greece when the Greek capital was taken by the Cleavish Empire. And then the government there was overthrown, I'm assuming. No. The government there was overthrown. The government was then the government there was overthrown when the Athens government, after all this invasion by Romania, it even invaded some surrounding cities around Athens. This was during a period of something called Europeanization, when the Europeans just needed power, so they established different governments and things like that. Okay, none of this is true. After this invasion, nothing actually happened, because the invasion did not happen. Because, I mean, Romania wouldn't invade Greece and succeed like they are right now. Wait, I could just fill it with red. No, wait, with red. That. They just took over the entire island eventually. And now it's all theirs. Then they took over this island. And now two complete islands now 2 islands of Greece, plus some of this, is now Cleavish Empire's territory. It's now the Cleavish Empire's territory. Then they just stole a bunch of Greece, and then Bulgaria, and Bosnia and Herzegovina, and all of Romania practically. And now all of this is Cleavish Empire territory. They then took over, what's the next country they took over? They then took over Serbia. They only invaded Serbia. They didn't invade Kosovo. Controversial. I mean, for the people that believe that Kosovo is a part of Serbia, then they did it. Then maybe they just didn't invade the region of Kosovo. So they just invaded the region of Serbia. Then after this empire, boom! Half of Serbia is now Cleavish territory, and then they just took over the rest. With a bunch of militias just fighting in random regions of Serbia. And then after then, just a bunch of just individuals just fighting the Serbian government, and then like half of Serbia was then ceded. Like, they did invade Kosovo. Oh, we did it. Okay. Then they just invaded. Then most of the Serbian state was ceded, but then it was ceded to the Clevish Empire. But then this massive militaries just fought against the government, which resulted in mass things that happened, various things, and then pretty much all of Serbia was under Clevish control. And eventually the ones that weren't under Clevish control were eventually was eventually taken by the Clevish Economic Empire, by the Clevish Union, which was basically just the Northeastern African Federation, and then it was actually called the Clevish Empire after the Clevish Emperor took control. Then even more of Serbia was being ceded until half of this place, only half of this place was ceded. People thought that the Clevish Empire was failing, but it turns out it was just so that the Clevish forces could just so that they would think that the invasion was over. And by the way, actually, not all of Romania ended up being ceded. So they then built like a giant wall around the rest of Serbia and the rest of Romania, and then even some of Moldova. They actually did most of it in Moldova. The reason why they did it in Moldova is they did this huge wall that increased the amount of land ceded to other places. And most of Hungary also was inside of this wall. And then this wall actually ended up becoming, was trademarked. And then some of this wall slipped into Germany, the Czech Republic, and Slovakia. Slovenia had already been like half messed up. But then they tried to overthrow the Slovenian government by doing this. And now Slovenia is under Clevish rule, and then they took this capital city of Hungary, but actually, now they took the capital city. They took the capital city of Hungary. De jure, now it's de jure control was given to the Clevish Empire. De facto control was still Hungary. But then they established a new capital in this place. And then they tried to rebuild the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Actually, not the Austro-Hungarian Empire, but they tried to rebuild. So then Austria took action. Then I'm gonna refer to their empire as Orange. Then when they tried to rebuild Austria-Hungary, I want Orange. Okay, Control Y, Control Y, Control Y. Okay, now all this is there, and I'm going to get out of there. And, They actually even took Switzerland in the process. They took quite a bit of Germany in the process as well. They actually took a bit of. They also took a bit of there and a bit of France, and they even spilled into Andorra, and then even some parts of Spain, and eventually Catalonia, the most controversial place ever. Then they sent some forces to Italy, and then the Austro-Hungarian Empire was growing, but it wasn't even Austro-Hungarian. Austria didn't even have any control of it. So then Austria took some land from the Clevish Empire. This was seen as an imperialist threat to its easy allies. They all even, for a while, had control, even temporarily, had control of the capital city of Germany. This was crazy. And then they took they took all of Belgium. They then took even more of France. They even spilled into Madrid for a while. This was an imperialist threat when they tried to get into CLAEVA, but they ended up in Octromocta, and then they established a colony in Octromocta. This was crazy. CLAEVA now had an enemy right on their doorsteps. So they actually spilled into half of Poland, and they even took a bit of they then took some of Hungary, which they took back from the Clevish Empire, and then they took more of France, and this was the modern Austro-Hungarian Empire. They even actually sent some things to Iceland, and then to Ireland, and then even to Norway, and then Sweden. Oh my gosh. Then they sent it to Belarus, then Ukraine, until this empire was a thing. And this was called the Old Austro Empire. This was a threat. And then, but it wasn't as powerful as the Clevish Empire because it was sided with the US. In order to prevent this from happening, they then sent a bunch of troops to, they tried to take over all Western Europe, but then something crazy happened. They sent troops. They sent troops. They sent troops to oh my gosh. They sent troops to the okay, this is weird. They sent troops over to Austria to invade. And then Austria ended up, and then in turn, Austria later became territory of this empire, of the Second Clevish Empire. No, not that. It's actually de facto. So yeah. The other half was rebels tried to fight off, but it ended up being taken over, and now Austria is now territory of this Clevish Empire. And then, yeah. And then after Austria after Austria became cleavish territory, CLAEVA then invaded. Then Austro-Cleavish troops invaded Hungary, which really quickly became cleavish territory. And now the two main superpowers, ACBC allies, and the Alt-Austria Empire. The Alt-Austria Empire began to fall, and then they actually took their capital to Iceland, but that will have to wait for the next episode.